All right. Welcome back to the Silent Conversations podcast. It's your brother, Mr. West, and we are back. We are back. As I said, we're going to go live. Let's get this thing started back, right? What better way to be able to relaunch this podcast, be able to reintroduce myself, be able to bring y'all up to speed, bring you back up to date on what's going on, you know. Silent Conversations podcast. If you've never checked out the Silent Conversations podcast, the link will be in the description. It will be in the bio for you to check out the previous 37 episodes, because this is episode 38, the return of a new beginning. We're back, full effect, never to be ending again, never to have another hiatus again. If it be the will of Allah, never be another hiatus again. But we are back. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Those catching the replay, I appreciate you watching the replay. Those who come in on the live, I appreciate you tapping in as well. We live on YouTube, we live on Facebook, we live on Twitter, you know. So yeah, come on in, tap on in. Welcome to the Silent Conversations podcast. Again, this is your brother, Mr. West, tapping in with you. We're gonna enjoy ourselves today. You know, I'm gonna bring y'all up to speed. You know, talk about where I've been, talk about what's been going on. You know, it's all about self-development, and you know, it's one thing to talk about different aspects of self-development. It's one thing to talk about growth and the importance of perspective, the importance of positive thinking, the importance of having peace of mind and finding peace in every situation, but it only makes sense when you can speak from a real place, when you can really talk about how things really work and how they work in your life, and talk about how you've applied what you've been talking about to your life and been able to become a better version of yourself and continuing on this path of becoming a better version of yourself. So that's what we're going to talk about today. You know, it's the Silent Conversations podcast. It's about self-development. It's about transforming. It's about renewing your mind so that you can become a better version of yourself. So that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna talk about. You know, I hope y'all enjoying the intro music. If you like the music, definitely let me know in the comments if you like the intro music. We trying out some new things. You know, it's all about growth. It's all about change. It's all about improvement. So, you know, I want to know what you think. I want the feedback. You know, because it's not just about me. It's about you as well. My goal with the Silent Conversations podcast is to inspire you, inspire others to be able to start and continue down their journey of self-development. If you were here from the beginning, you would have seen a version of me. And now when you see me now, you see another version of me. Me personally, I feel like this is the new and improved version. This is the person that I've always been, that I had buried under my regrets, buried under my mistakes, buried under who I thought I should have been, buried under the perceptions of others that I thought were real, when I found out that those perceptions were just an illusion. And what you're seeing is the better version of myself that I was speaking about, becoming into. What you're seeing is me in that transitory state of becoming even better, growing every day, improving every day, you know? And that's what we're going to talk about, you know? So we just warming it up. We just getting started. You know what I mean? You're knocking the rust off on this thing, you know? You're knocking the rust off. So let me turn the music down. Let's turn the music down. There we go. So again, welcome to the Silent Conversations podcast. It's your brother, Mr. West, and we are tapped in. It's always about think, learn, grow. As you can see, the merch. You know, the people said they wanted the merch on the relaunch. So I'm wearing one of the Think, Learn, Grow t-shirts. The t-shirts will be available soon. Be on the lookout. Stay tapped into the YouTube. Stay tapped in on Facebook. Stay tapped in on Twitter for the link when they're available. But if you want one, definitely put in the comments. Type in the comments TLG if you would like to support the Silent Conversations podcast by getting the merch. We're going to have sweatshirts. We're gonna have hoodies. We're gonna have t-shirts. We also gonna have hats. We got the wristbands as well. So the 3Ps wristbands. That's peace, positivity, and perspective. We also have the 3Ps ebook and the physical book as well. So there's multiple ways in which you can support. But this particular podcast is presented by and sponsored by the Silent Academy. The Silent Academy. The Silent Academy. That is my business. That is my institution that I'm putting into place to help us to understand and to learn about self-development, to be able to understand home ownership, the importance of home ownership, and also the importance of money management. These are 3 pillars that we need to use in our life to be able to get to that better version of ourselves, to get to that next level in life, to become the best version of self. And we're in a time now where financial literacy is at a high. Many people are speaking about financial literacy. In the Black community, we're in a point where we're starting to understand the importance of getting information, getting knowledge, and applying it so that we can improve and not just complain about what's not going right, but actually having solutions to be able to get to what's right and being able to be good. So let's tap all the way in. Let's get into this. Like I said, this episode is sponsored by the Silent Academy. Home ownership, money management, and personal development. 3 pillars that we all need to be able to become a better version of ourselves, especially in today's time. So this episode is titled The Return of a New Beginning. As I stated in the intro, this is a relaunch of the Silent Conversations podcast. This is episode 38. I did 37 episodes leading up to this point. And I've been through a lot leading up to this point as well. So it's like a new beginning for me. This is a new version of myself that I haven't seen in a long time. This is a version of myself that certain aspects of this version of myself I've never seen before. And I'm amazed at where I've become, where I've reached at this point. But I've been always looking to bring you on the journey. And one thing that I haven't done as much on this podcast is speak about my journey. I talk about the journey. I talk about what it takes to get on the journey, get started on your path of self-development. But I haven't brought you along my journey. And that's what I want to do today. I want to start that conversation. I want to begin that relationship, begin that fellowship with you in the audience, so that you can see that what I'm talking about is not just opinions. It's not about what I think works. I'm not talking about what I think will improve your life. I'm talking about what I've actually done in my life that has caused a change, that has caused improvement in my life, that I feel that if you are to glean some aspects of what I'm speaking on and apply it to yours, you too can become a better version of yourself. One of the things that I stand on is, just like it says on my shirt, think, learn, grow. If you're thinking, you can find an opportunity to learn. If you're learning, you're creating an opportunity to grow. And anything that's not growing is dying. And sometimes the decisions that we make are decisions that's causing us to die faster. Sometimes the decisions that we make cause our relationships to die faster. Sometimes the decisions that we make, because we're not learning, because we're not thinking, can cause our finances to die and dwindle. So it's important for us to think, learn, and grow. It's important for us to use our mind. It's important for us to use our time. It's important for us to use our energy, all of these things wisely, because if not, we then put ourselves in a position to have to complain about what's not going right. Well, you can't complain. You can't make excuses when you have all of the control in your hands. When you have the control, when you have all of the aspects of life and the resources that you need to improve your life, and you don't, that's not a reason to complain. That's a reason for change. That's a reason for you to move forward, not just sit back and wonder what could happen. Start making something happen. One thing that I say every day is to make today successful, make today productive. Because success and being productive and getting results and attaining your goals and becoming a better version of yourself is not something that's just going to magically happen. You're not going to wake up one day and just be a better version of yourself. This is something that you have to work on every day. Every day there's going to be a new test. Every day there's going to be a new aspect of your life that you didn't know. There's going to be something that arises. There's going to be emotions that show up that you never dealt with before. There's going to be situations, scenarios that come up that's going to test your faith. That's going to test everything that you thought you knew. And you got to be willing to face that test. And regardless if you pass or fail, learn and move forward so that you can grow and become a better version of yourself. So you don't let what you go through now be a hindrance, be an obstacle, be a setback, but you allow it to be a step up. You allow that to be something that helps you move forward, and not something that causes you pain in the standpoint that you don't move forward and you run away from it. You fear the change. It's not about fear. Fear is an illusion. We talked about this on a previous episode. Fear is facing emotions, altering reality. You're dealing with something that you've never dealt with before. You're uncomfortable. You're in the unknown. You're on foreign territory. But that doesn't mean stop. That means think critically. That means come up with a plan, execute on that plan, and make adjustments. Move forward. Face those emotions. Don't hide from the emotions. Don't drown those emotions. Don't cloud those emotions. Don't deflect the attention off of the emotions. Face those emotions and understand why you feel the way you feel. Then move forward to realize that fear that you have that's altering your reality is not real. It's not really the reality. It's just how you feel in the moment because you're uncomfortable. But when you get uncomfortable, that's where the growth takes place. When you're uncomfortable, that's when things start to change for you. That's when you begin to improve. When you're working out and you feel the weight on your chest, when you're running and you feel the pain in your legs and you feel winded and you keep on going, you're challenging those fears, you're challenging that pain, you're challenging that discomfort. That's how you begin to grow. That's how you begin to take things to the next level, because you're not afraid to grow. You're not afraid to change. You're not afraid to improve. You're not afraid to make mistakes. When you understand that mistakes and failures is a part of the process, when you understand that mistakes and failures are only teaching you a lesson so that the next time you face those same obstacles, that same setback, you know how to move about it. You also are now putting yourself in position to teach someone else what to do. So that's what I've been able to do. Me personally, I'm at the clearest I've ever been in life. I'm at a point right now where, I don't do any drugs. I don't smoke no weed. I don't drink any alcohol. I'm improving my health. I'm improving my diet. I'm improving my lifestyle. I'm more committed to a spiritual journey. I'm more committed to a healthier mental state. Every day I'm working to improve myself. You may have seen me before. I used to have my hair long. I done cut my hair. We starting fresh. We starting new. We changing things. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I'm proud of because, well, for one, a part of my life has been so private. I've been a very private person for a long time. Being an only child push you in a place where you self-nurture. You don't go around broadcasting everything that you feel. You don't go around telling everybody your business. You become a very self-orientated person. You become a very isolated individual because you feel like all you have is you. So though you may have friends and associates, though you may be mingling with different people and you are in positions where you need to be around a lot of people, you still what I could say is that you still suppress a lot of who you are because you don't know who or what is against you, who's with you, who's genuine, who's fake, who's real, who's fake, who's really with you, and who's just with you just for the benefit. So you begin to be very skeptical of the people around you. You become very distant or disassociated from individuals from certain aspects because you don't want to get hurt. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you by yourself, you alone. So if you begin to attach yourself to somebody and then they go away or they change on you or they take advantage of you and then you resent them, and that puts you in a smaller bubble of isolation with yourself. So Me personally, I've always been that way. I've never really talked too much about myself. And then once that gets to a point where you don't speak on your life, you don't tell people your story, you don't show people your journey, you don't let people in, you get to the point where you don't know who you truly are. Other people see your value, and if you're not around individuals who recognize your value, want to promote or want to help you shine more, then what they're doing is blocking your light. Then at a certain point, if your light has been blocked for so long, when someone kind of makes you feel little or makes you feel insignificant or make you feel as if all your good is for what you can provide and help them with, but they can't help you with anything, you begin to forget who you are. And once you forget who you are, you become what you think people want you to be. And that's like chasing after the wind, because when you're becoming a version of yourself that you don't even like, because you want other people to like you, you want the recognition, the validation, the approval of people who don't even know who they are, who don't even respect themselves. You want respect from individuals that don't respect themselves. You want love from individuals who don't love themselves. You want attention from people who don't care about you for real. You begin to lose that value in yourself. So then you start to disrespect yourself. Then you begin to devalue yourself. You begin to self-sabotage. And that's what I did. I was on a downward spiral of self-sabotage. Many things that I was getting into, I didn't need to get into it, you know? I think about how long I've been on this journey. I turned 33 today. Today is my birth anniversary. I turned 33 today, and I'm just now getting to a point where I actually really love myself. I've talked about self-development on this podcast. And then when I think about it, on the camera, I would look at some of the old footage that I had and old episodes that I shot. And I'm like, man, this brother don't love himself. You can see it in his face. He don't love himself, but yet he has good intentions, and he's well intentioned in what he's doing. He wants to share his input. He wants to share his knowledge. He wants to share his experience, but something in him is blocking that. There's something that's blocking his light. So though he may have the words, though he may have the knowledge, though he may have the book sense, though he may have value to share, he doesn't value himself, so he can't share it in a way that's the best for others. So I had to change that. I had to wake up and realize, no, this ain't me. This is not who I am. What you see is not the reality of who this person is. That's not Wes. That's not the real Wes. The real Wes is who you see now. There's a difference. I pray that when you see this episode, if you're not on the live and you're watching the replay, when you see this episode, you see a better version of me. You see a clearer version of me. You see a healthier version of me. Throughout my life and being in corporate America, I've went from job to job to job. Every job that I went to, I would have the intentions of going in to make a difference. And then once I get into that job, I become unsatisfied, not because the job in itself, but I was truly understanding now, I was just not satisfied with myself. I didn't know what my true purpose was. I didn't know what I really wanted to do with my life. I was just doing what I thought was right. I'm making money. Okay. But money isn't true happiness doesn't come from just having money. It's what you're going to do with the money when you get it. That's why I talk about money management. When I look back over my life and the amount of money I've been able to make over the years, certain salaries I've been able to garnish, and then I say, okay, what do I have in exchange for all of this money that I've made? The scales don't balance out. You see what I'm saying? And that's where I'm like, okay, if I'm going through this cycle of job after job after job, but yes, truly not satisfied, I'm not satisfied with myself. So when you're not satisfied with yourself, you begin to spend money unnecessarily. You begin to waste money. You begin to waste your time. You begin to waste your energy. You begin to devalue relationships. You begin to start things and never finish them. You begin to sabotage yourself. That's how you get into doing drugs and drinking and staying up all night and partying and not taking your life serious is really what it comes down to, because all of these things are really just distractions. So you become tempted by everything. You become distracted by everything. You just going with the flow. You have no plan, no purpose, no aim. You just moving with the motions. But the motions are just a reflection of your aimless direction that you're moving in. So when I think about the Silent Conversations podcast and why it wasn't moving forward and why I stopped for so many months, it's because though I was well intentioned in starting the podcast, I didn't have a true plan. I didn't have a true purpose for this podcast outside of just wanting to share information. And that's great. It's good to be able to share information and be able to have conversations with different individuals. But when it isn't tangible, when you're not really living what you're talking about, you will run out of things to share because you're kind of just pulling out of the sky. So now in the position that I'm in right now, in this part of life that I'm in right now, the more comfortable that I get in my skin, because really becoming this version of myself is foreign territory. I've always been this. I've always been someone who cared about people. I've always been this person that wants to give advice and be able to share how I've used what I'm talking about in my life. But when you don't really live it on a 24/7 basis, there's some guilt that comes behind it, because you like, oh, okay, I wonder if they know that I'm doing this. I wonder if they know that I'm not really standing on what I'm standing on. In all actuality, whether you think it or not, people know. The real ones know. People that can really read people know that you're not happy. Though you may be talking about peace and positivity, you're not really living that. You're not talking about perspective. You're talking about perspective, but you ain't really expanding your perspective. So I had to get real with myself for one. And once I got real with myself, I realized that okay, I'm not really living this. So I need to change everything. I need to change everything. So that's what I did. I changed my look. That was the first thing. Cut my hair. Let me back up a little bit. First, I stopped smoking weed. I realized that was slowing me down. I didn't like the way I look on camera high. I'm like, how can I sit here and talk about elevating yourself and becoming a better version of yourself, and you sitting here looking crazy in the face? That's not me. I didn't respect that version of myself. I wouldn't respect somebody that was telling me about improvement and they not improving. I wouldn't respect somebody like that. So I had to change. I had to become a better version of myself. How did I do that? Well, I started putting myself in new environments. The people that I was hanging out with didn't live a life that was progressive. They were doing the same things I was doing. And when I talked about positive things, when I talked about being productive, it was as if it was falling on deaf ears. So you either do one or two things. Either you keep doing what you've been doing, or you change everything. You get into a new environment. So what did I start doing? I started doing some more reading. I started reading more. First, I limited the time that I was spending with individuals that I knew wasn't conducive to my growth. I stopped having conversations that weren't degrading. I stopped having conversations that weren't productive. Once I stopped having those conversations, then you don't even want to be in the room, because what's the point? At this point, since I'm not participating in the conversation, I don't want to be in the room where the other conversations are being had. So the less time that you spend around individuals that's talking negative, that's more time that you can spend building on your mind and doing something more positive. Now, the more positive things that I'm doing, that's less time that I have to do something negative. So I changed my environment. I started reading more. Went and got me a Quran. Started reading the Quran. This book right here, Message to the Black Man. I'm actually rereading this book. Every time I read this book, as I continue to grow, I learn more about myself. I learn more about the environment in which the world that we live in, and that's something different. This is something that I've always had in my mind. I love Black people. I always have loved my people. but I didn't know how to express it. When I think about, when I did music and I'm sitting here, like as I'm reading this book and I'm like, okay, I love black people, but yet the music that I'm producing for people, it doesn't promote loving black people. So though when I was rapping, I would try to find some way to put some substance in the music, but I'm like, okay, I'm putting some medicine in the candy, but there's so much candy that they're not going to get to the medicine. They're not going to get to what the substance, because there's so much crap that's wrapped around it. And then if the crap is not at a high quality, then they're not even going to listen long enough to get to the substance. So it was like an oxymoron. So I'm fighting against what I know is right, but yet doing what I think everybody wants me to do. So I had to stop doing that. So in doing that, I started reading the Quran more. I started reading, I've always had a basis of knowledge when it comes to the Bible, just based off my upbringing. So now I'm adding those elements in. I'm reading Message of the Black Man. I'm listening to lectures from the minister. Then what I did was I got a hold of a conversation, a Zoom call with Brother Ben X called the Power Call. I'm tapped in with him in the morning time. So now I'm starting my mornings off listening to a lecture with the minister. Now this is something that is big for me because my father's been in the Nation of Islam all my life, as far as I know, since 93. I was born in 1990. I believe he said 1993, 1994. That's when he joined the nation. All I've ever known about my father is that he was in the nation. So I've always had some form of awareness of the teachings. I've had awareness of who the minister was. I would, once I got introduced to the internet, and I would look up certain lectures on my own. I've always loved Malcolm X. I've always learned or listened to lectures from Malcolm X and the minister on my own free time, but really in the quiet, in the corner by myself, But then we talking about fast forwarding to now 32 years old. There's a brother that I've been watching his story for a few years now. And now he's doing something where every morning we reading the Message to the Black Man. We're listening to different lectures from the minister. We talking about improvement. We're talking about rising above emotions. We understanding attitude. We talking about the thinking of God, and we understanding the reality of God, and all of these things. These are conversations and topics that I've always had with myself. These are things that I've studied on my own, but now this is a room, an environment with other people of different walks of life, and we all building on the same subject. I'm like, okay, this is an environment I like to be in. And I keep in mind, while I was in these environments, when I first got into this environment, I still was smoking weed here and there, so I wasn't fully committed, but I just was listening in. Let me tap in. But then as I got into these environments and doing it every day, then we get to a point where we sharing feedback, and I'm hearing stories of other people and what they're getting from the lecture. And I'm like, man, we really building on these lectures. This is what I've been looking for my whole life. Other people that are like-minded, that want to improve, that want to grow, that want to talk about some spiritual things to start the day off. You talking about waking up in the morning and starting your day talking about something spiritual. Waking up in the morning, starting your day talking about growth and understanding your mindset and improving the way you move and the way you treat people. Where I'm coming from, an environment where we ain't talking about that. We talking about women, and we talking about when the next blunt we gonna roll up, and we talking about where to beat at, and where we drinking on, who taking shots, and what club we going to. Oh, this beef is happening and that beef is happening. Nothing productive. So now I'm in a different environment where we talking about something productive. Now I'm like, man, I really enjoy this. I really enjoy this. This is really speaking to who I really am on the inside. So as I'm in this environment and I'm studying more on my own, and then I muster up the courage to be able to share my own story now. Now I'm feeling compelled to be able to share what I'm getting from the lecture, and then, seeing the feedback and things like that. And I'm like, well, people are, they like what I'm saying. They encouraged by what I'm saying. I'm like, I've never been in that environment where I said something people actually appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? So all of these things happening has helped me move forward, and inch by inch, I'm just like, man, I like the way this feels. I like feeling good in the morning. I like the fact that I'm not talking about nothing unproductive. I'm talking about something productive. This is really what I live. I have a podcast. I done wrote a book about growth and development and talking about improving yourself, improving your mindset and positivity and peace of mind and expanding your perspective to gain understanding of others. And now I'm really doing it. So now we're just connecting certain dots in my life and in my mind that really makes sense. So I'm like, okay, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. So time goes by and I'm sitting here like, okay, well, this is good. It's good now. I'm sharing my feedback. I'm every waking up in the morning and checking out this call, and I'm reading on my own and developing more thoughts on my own. But I'm like, there's something missing, you know. So then I start building with my father. I'm telling him, I'm on this power call, brother Ben X, and we talking about the lectures, we talking about the minister, we doing this, that, and the third. And I'm like, man, what else can I do? What else can I do to improve myself? You know what I mean? And then I'm asked to help out with the call and things like that. So then I feel a little bit of guilt because like I have this information. I've been around this information for so long. I'm seeing certain lectures that I studied on my own time. And now we building on it as a group, as a collective. And now we get to a point where I'm participating in this. So now I feel a bit of guilt because I know this is what I want to do. I know this is what I should be doing. I see the benefit of this. And now since I'm a part of this and helping improve, helping keep this thing flowing and moving, I'm like, okay, I don't feel right doing this and I'm not fully committed to it. I want to be fully committed to my people. I done started distancing myself from the previous lifestyle I was living. So now I'm like, okay, I don't want to live a double life. The Bible speaks on how a double-sided or a double-minded man a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So you can't, and then you think about you can't slave for two masters, and these type of things run through my mind. So I'm like, I gotta make a decision. Either I'm going to improve my life and stop living a life of negativity, living a life of basically suicide, killing myself slowly, or I'm gonna live a life that's gonna be truly positive and really improve and really actually really help improve others. Because what I'm noticing with the power call is that other people's lives are improving. I'm noticing other people are getting a lot of benefit from this. So I'm like, this is something that I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of actually helping people. This is everything I've been looking for in the sense of I want to help improve the life of other people through my experience, through my example, from all the benefits and gifts and talents that I have. I want to pour that into people. I don't want to take away from people. I don't want to keep judging people. I don't want to criticize people. I want to help. I want to help people. So I get to the point where I say, you know what? I've never been to the mosque before. Let me go. I'm gonna just go check it out. Check it out. And from there, it's been it's been a glorious journey. So now I'm on the path of joining the nation, officially becoming a registered Muslim. I've been since July. What was that? July 1st, I believe. Either the first, I believe it was the first. Yeah, it might have been the first because I came into the mosque on the first, and then I just decided, we all in. What else do I need to wait on? This is something that I've been feeling as if this is what I was supposed to have been doing a long time ago. But I was basically afraid of what people would think. I was always afraid of what people think. I'm afraid of the perceptions of others, afraid of what this person think, what they're going to do when I decide to make this decision. It's something I've been living. I've been talking about it. Everybody knows my history. when it comes to understanding and studying and knowledge and how I feel about black people, but my lifestyle didn't reflect it. So now that I'm in a position where my lifestyle is really gonna reflect it, I'm afraid, okay, what people gonna think? I'm gonna lose friends. Then I had to think about it. If I lose friends based off of this decision, were they really my friends? If I stop smoking and now I don't hear from people, then were you really my friend, or did you just need me to be able to smoke with? Did you just need to be friends with me in order to drink and to party and just need me as a ride, or need me to make music with you or whatever? Was it really genuine? So I thought about that. I'm like, okay, what am I doing this for? I mean, I'm on a point where I want to do things because that's what I want to do. I'm doing it because this is what I feel is right, not about what y'all think is right, not based off of what my peers think is right. Then I look at what their lifestyle is, and I'm like, but do you even know what's right? Do you even know what's right from wrong? And why am I letting you be the judge and the jury for my life? God should be the only one that I'm worried about. God is the only person that I should be concerned about displeasing, and concerned if God is the one that is pleased with what I'm doing, and is how he's going to feel about what I'm doing. So once I got to that position, I just decided to go all in. So I've been all in. I gave up everything else. I gave up the drugs. I gave up the drinking. Well, I ain't gonna say I gave up the drink because I stopped drinking over a year ago. But I gave up the smoking weed. I gave all that up. So I say that to say that this was the best decision I ever made in my life. Now, I'm not saying this to say that you seeing this, you need to join the Nation of Islam. Now, if you feel compelled to do that, that's between you and God, and that's your decision to make. But I do recommend you check out your local mosque and be able to see for yourself what is being talked there, and not go off the propaganda on the news or what you heard people talk about, because that's where the lies are. It's a lot of lies that are told. There's a lot of propaganda out there that's going to deter you from it. But go see for yourself and make your own decision. Make your own judgment based off what you heard yourself, not what you heard from somebody else that don't go, or what you heard from somebody else that dealt with something personally with themselves, or what they heard from someone else. Go see for yourself, and let that be your reasoning behind why you do or why you don't. But I say all that to say that was the best decision of my life. My life is completely changed from that perspective. I take everything that I do so much more serious now. I take my life serious. I take the lives of others serious, because now I'm in the life-saving work. I'm in the business of saving other people's lives, and providing them with an example to show that you can change, you can become better, and that if you just work on it every day, you really can do it. So for me, being in a position where I was talking about self-development and actually being in a true journey of self-development really has helped open my eyes to the possibilities of other people. It's not just a theory anymore. It's not like what I think works. I know it works. I know it works to read, what reading can do for you, what studying can do for you, what actually reading the scriptures yourself can do. And I say that to say, being on other people's podcasts and watching other people's podcasts and hearing them quote the scriptures and things like that, it's like now when you read it for yourself, when you study and examine scriptures for yourself and on your own, and have context and build with other people who have a knowledge base as far as the scriptures is concerned, you realize that many people quote Bibles that they don't even pick up on their own. Many people are quoting scriptures and twisting scriptures and making it fit their lifestyle, when in all actuality, that's not what the book say. That's not what the Bible say. That's not what the Quran say. You're just saying that's what you say. That's your interpretation. That's your rationalization of what you thought was in the word. But that's not the real word. you know. And in this process, I just noticed so many of the lies, the propaganda, the twisting of truths, the tickling of the ears. I see it so much. It's so blatant in my face now that it just, for me, that's what's giving me the reasoning to do this, to bring this podcast back, to be able to talk about the journey, to be able to talk about the truth, to be able to share my insight, to be able to give my experience and my testimony based off of tangible things, not what not what I theorize about, not what I heard someone else say. This is based off of my real life. This is based off of fact. This is based off of not just opinion, because a lot of people have opinions, and everybody's opinion doesn't need to be heard by everybody. It doesn't need to be broadcast out to millions of people, because their opinion is just something that they feel in the moment. It's not based on anything. There's no facts behind it. There's no truth behind it. The truth needs no defense. The truth is what needs to be spread, not more lies and other people's perception of a lie. You know, we need more truth in this world. We need more examples of truth in this world as well. And we need more real people that's actually trying to help and not just talk. And we're in a position right now, we're in a time right now where talk is cheap in real life, and you need action. You need people that's going to put their feet on the ground and do some things. One thing that I am happy about that I did, it may be about a year or so ago, where I was able to help about 70 people. I fed about 70 people. It's something that I don't talk about, that type of charity. And I definitely don't document that type of charity, but it's something that I want to do more of, because we need to show people that they exist. I go running now, so I run practically every morning. I took a break a couple of days just because I had some soreness in my knee, so I've been learning to listen to my body now, especially being 33, being older now and growing older. You know, you listen to your body a lot more because you don't want to damage yourself. The recovery time is a lot slower than it used to be. I used to get a little pain in my ankle or in my knee, and I just keep on going. I just walk it off, keep on going. But now I'm beginning to understand the importance of being patient with myself. Not only just in my fitness journey, but in my spiritual journey as well. There's certain aspects of spirituality that you need to take your time and grow into the knowledge of, and not just rush to try to be gluttonous, to just feed yourself all of this spiritual food, but you don't really understand and you're not able to digest it. So being patient with myself, being patient in the process is important. So when I think about when I go running in the mornings now, excuse me, I see homeless people, because I don't just run on the treadmill. I actually go and run in the streets and run in different parts of town. And when I see homeless people or people in need or just people just walking, I speak as I'm walking, or excuse me, as I'm running. And because I just want them to understand that they're seen. They are they should be acknowledged. They are human beings just like me. And I said this on an Instagram live today, that many times when you're in that position, you feel as if you don't exist or you don't matter to the grand scheme of things. And I feel like, to me, I want to be able to set the example to show that you do matter, you do exist. I acknowledge your presence, and your presence is a gift, because we are all one decision away from being in that same predicament. One bad decision, one mistake, one unlearned lesson, one test can come your way that you don't pass, and you can be in that same position, and you will want someone to acknowledge your presence. You will want someone to help you out if they can, and do something for you to help you in your time of need. So just thinking about how certain people have certain judgments of those who are homeless, and it's like, you're so entitled to think that you won't be in that position one day, or that it's not possible for you to be in that position one day. So it's so important to be grateful and appreciative for what you have, because there's somebody that doesn't have, and you are just one decision or one lack of decision away from becoming that same person, and you will want somebody to do something to help you out. And many times we begin to forget how real that is. We begin to forget how important it is to um, help other people. We forget how important it is to be a community. We forget how important it is that we are all connected and that you can learn from individuals, though they may not be in the same financial status that you are. They may not be the same color as you. They may not have the same knowledge base as you, but their experience is something that if it's shared with you and you understand, you can build upon that and learn a lesson so that you can avoid a certain mistake. We should be willing to open our minds, expand our perspectives to understand others, because we never know what's going to happen tomorrow. We're not guaranteed that everything is going to be paradise every time you wake up. So you don't know what someone else is going through, and what they're able to tell you and share with you can help you further in your life. Help you avoid bumping your head or running into that wall, because they ran into that wall and they stumbled on that rock. And if they're letting you know, hey, look out for that pothole, that could be something that could change and alter your life for the benefit. So we want to make sure that we treat everybody with respect, even ourselves. We need to treat ourselves with respect. We need to respect our life, respect our experiences, respect the people around us, and just be respectful for the time that we have on this planet, because we don't know what tomorrow holds. No one is guaranteed to wake up in the morning, but sometimes we move with this entitled spirit that everything is automatic, that we're guaranteed or owed to wake up. Oh yeah, I'll do this tomorrow, I'll do this later. You don't know if later is gonna come. You don't know if you're gonna see tomorrow. So let's get it done now. Let's get it done now. Let's do what we supposed to do now. Let's not wait till later. So this is beautiful. I'm so glad that I did this. I'm so glad that I'm back in the motions of doing this podcast. It feels good to release. I got so many things I could talk about, but I'm not going to overdo it today, because every Saturday 9:30 every Saturday, 9:30 p.m. every Saturday Eastern Standard Time, we're going to do this live. We're going to do it. We're going to have a podcast drop. Even if it's not live, a podcast episode will drop every Saturday. Look out for episodes. Make sure you following me on Instagram. I am Mr. West. That's I am Mr. West on TikTok and Instagram. On Twitter is _Mr. West. You see it on the ticker below. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell on the YouTube. If you're seeing this on Facebook, definitely like this, comment, share this out, repost it. If you're checking it out on Twitter, definitely hit me with some retweets. Let me know in your comments what you think about this conversation. This is really more so just a warming up, getting back into the groove of things. So I'm kind of all over the place when it comes to the conversation, but we will get more structured with the next episode. But tap in with us. This will be available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all those good places as well. With the audio, you can appreciate or engage with the audio experience as well. But this is the return of a new beginning. I appreciate y'all joining me on this journey and sticking with me on this journey. And again, the hiatus is over. We back every week. The Silent Conversations podcast, where we're talking about self-development. We're going to get into some financial conversation as well, some home ownership conversations as well. We're going to start talking about current events. We're going to be talking about what lessons we can pull from these different events that's going on, the different trending topics that may be happening in the news, and what we can learn and how we can use these type of events as examples and perspectives that we can learn from, so that we can improve our life as well, because you can learn from everybody and learn from anything. And as I said before, it's about think, learn, grow. If we're thinking, we can find an opportunity to learn. If we're learning, we're creating an opportunity to grow, and anything not growing is dying. So tap in. This particular episode, The Return of a New Beginning, is sponsored by The Silent Academy. Yes, the Silent Academy, where I teach about home ownership, money management, and personal development. If you need assistance with home ownership, meaning that you want to avoid foreclosure, you're having a financial hardship and you need help with your budget, text the word solutions to 804-221-6226. Text the word solutions to 804-221-6226. We can set up a phone call to talk about whatever you need assistance with when it comes to home ownership, money management, or personal development. If you need coaching on that as well, it's your brother, Mr. West. Again, like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the notification bell on YouTube, like and comment and share on Facebook. Hit me with a retweet and like this particular post here on Twitter. And again, it's your brother, Mr. West. It's peace, positivity, and perspective. Check out my ebook, The 3 Ps, The Keys to Having Better Days. You can get that in the link in my bio on any of my social media platforms, or you can text the word ebook to 804-221-6226. It's your brother, Mr. West, signing out, and I appreciate y'all tapping in. Peace.